here we are, another love stream, baby. What a massive week is coming up for us. We are in Virgo season, heading towards the new moon in Virgo. Pluto is about to go back into Capricorn. Uranus is stationed in retrograde. Mercury is trining Chiron. Mars will square Neptune. Dio mio, so much is happening in the heavens. We are starting our love stream with Sudish, the set of Harmony from the Heart, a beautiful electronic music for the meaning of Uranus and everything else. So join me, show me your names on the screen. Who is here with me, family? Joining the fun, joining the party. Shalom Ima, Shabbat Shalom. Hello brother Robert, Active Creative Valerie and Eugene in the house. Here I am coming at you. Whee! Hello Breeze. Shalom Dana and Pete. Hello brother Pete. Awesome, good to see you all. Wow, there's so much to talk about tonight. It's not a joke. There's so much going on. And as I told you last love stream, we are now entering the real kind of epic crescendo of this year. So it's gonna ramp up and ramp up and ramp up. And because there is a lot for us to share tonight, we will straight away go into it. Hello Janeline. But first of all, I want to say love and gratitude to the Patreon community for your ongoing support. It means a lot to me. Thank you. More than you realize how much it means to me. And those of you who are not with us on Patreon, feel free to join us there. We have an awesome community, Telegram chat rooms who are just exclusive for our community. These love streams, the new moon and full moon sound healing meditations every month that they are receiving. And that's for the Patreon, so patreon.com/healingthelight. The other thing is that you can just offer me your free support by pressing like on this movie, share it with your friends and beloveds, whoever is in need of hearing all these insights, and subscribe to our channel. We have passed our 1100 subscribers, so we're on 1104. This is amazing. We're growing very nicely, so thank you all for subscribing. And the other thing is that this week sound healing meditation, the new moon falls on Tuesday. And sound healing meditation is on Wednesday 7 p.m. So if you need it, come and join us for the new moon sound healing meditation. We will go on top of the energy tonight. And if you need private healing sessions, come and see me. There is a special of 20% discount for this entire time because Healing the Light is celebrating 16 years of service. So very exciting times, many years of service. So yeah, I'm giving you another good reason to book it in and come and see me for healing session, for sound healing, and will be my pleasure to see you and help you. Hello Kylie B, welcome. And that's pretty much it for the announcement. Let's scan the skies and see what's happening there, huh? Let's start from 3 o'clock. As you can see, there's a party in Libra, Juno 7th degree Libra, Black Moon Lilith 6th degree Libra, South Node, 6th degree of Libra, The South Node and the North Node just shifted to the 6th degree. And Venus entered Libra a few days ago. So Venus is now in Libra on the 2nd degree. Then below that, 4 o'clock, you got the Sun on the 8th degree of Virgo. Mercury, 21 degree of Leo, is now direct. Mercury went direct a few days ago. Hello, Tara Sparkle. Yay. Awesome. Good to have you with us. And the moon is right now on the 8th degree of Leo, which means that from this moment of this love stream, we are entering the dark moon phase, the 30 degrees before the new moon. So the new moon will be on the 11th degree. So you can say take another 6 hours. So it's around 1 a.m. tonight. From 1 a.m. tonight, we are entering the dark moon phase, in which the moon will travel unseen in the sky, in this kind of like a period of time of the month of going inwards, reflection, closing in, wrapping up the Leo season. All the energy that we have been processing since the new moon in Leo, this is all kind of coming to an end, wrapping it up, letting it go, clearing the surface in preparation for the new moon in Virgo, which is happening this week, and that will happen on the 11th degree of Virgo. Then on the 6 o'clock, we've got Mars on the 27th degree of Gemini. That's a big shift of this week. Mars is ending Gemini and will enter Cancer this week. And as he is doing that, he will square Neptune on the 29th degree. That's an epic thing by itself, which is playing out from now. Jupiter is on the 18th degree of Gemini, about to move into the 19th. Uranus is on the 27th degree, 15 minutes of Taurus, where he has been since Wednesday night, and he will stay on this place and go retrograde on this place later on tonight, tomorrow morning. So Uranus station in retrograde, that's a big topic of today. Mars ending Gemini going into Cancer on the way square to Neptune, that's a topic of today. The new moon in Virgo, that's a topic of today. Mercury direct is a topic of today, because as Mercury goes direct, he will do the third final alignments. First is now already in a trine to Chiron for the third time, and then later he will square Uranus for the third time, and then later he will do the special, the famous yod again to Neptune and Pluto for the third final time. So that's another topic. The topic here with Venus is that Venus will come to the south node of the moon to conjunct the south node and Black Moon, Lilith and Juno. So that's a very big whammy yummy topic to discuss. And coming back here into your 8 o'clock in Aries, we've got Chiron on the 22 degrees 59 minutes about to retrograde. And this is Aries on 25th degree of Aries. North node on the 6th degree of Aries. Neptune retrograde on the 29th degree of Pisces. And this week Neptune will finally move to the 28th degree after being on this 29th degree for quite some time, since May. So 4 or 5 months of Neptune on the same degree, and that's gonna change this week. And Saturn is on the 16th degree of Pisces retrograde. And here at your 11 o'clock, Pluto on 0001. So that's a big topic of today as well, because Pluto is going back into Capricorn. At the same time, Uranus station in retrograde. At the same time, there's a new moon in Virgo. This is a big week. We will feel like really big shifts of energy this week. So there's a lot of big topics, as you can see. Where do we start from? Virgo season, from the small little details. So welcome to Virgo season. Happy birthday to all the Virgos in the house. And what is Virgo? Virgo is honesty, truthfulness, being pure, detox, like detoxing your diet, detoxing your life, your mind. Virgo is the second home of Mercury, so it relates to the mind, of decluttering and detoxing your mental, your mind, your thoughts, purifying your thoughts, like kicking out all those negative thoughts of jealousy, of enviness, of fear, of pain, or grudges, or kind of like putting yourself down and criticizing yourself and being like pushing yourself to perfection but never reaching perfection, because Virgo is around perfection. So the shadow of Virgo is that it can be overly perfectionist, like it can be too anal, too kind of like if something is not right, like if put it like that, Virgos are like the best housekeepers. They will organize your wardrobe. Like in the wardrobe of Virgos will be like everything is folded nice and neat, all the t-shirts, all the pants, there will be sections for everything. This is the shirts, this is the pants, this is the elegant, this is the sport, this is the sexy, this is the day by day, and everything will have its own category. It's possible some Virgos will take it as far as putting tags on each drawer, winter socks, summer socks, spring socks. The pantry of a Virgo will be like jars of different herbs and different medicines and different ingredients, rice, lentils, and everything will have tags on it. Everything will be perfectly organized. That's Virgo quality. And so Virgo season helps us to kind of get organized, put things in order, declutter the house, the garage, the diet, the mind, our life, detox all the toxins, and very good in Virgo season to tune into your body, into your gut health, into your diet, into the food you consume, maybe more veggies, more fruits, more kind of earthy food. Virgo is an earth sign. Hello, Nikki. It's good to have you with us, Nikki. I love you, Nikki. Sending you love, beautiful sister. You always bring a smile to my face. Oh, I just remembered. I've met a new friend named AJ. And AJ and I have met, and we talk and we talk and we talk, and then we meet again after a few days, and we talk, and we meet again after a few days, and then goes, hey, guess what? Apparently, my close circles know you, they know of you, and I didn't realize, but some of my closest friends, who are actually really awesome people, they know about you, and more than that, my partner knows about you, and my partner has been watching you for a long time, and goes like, no way, man. What a small world. I meet you, here we talk, and after a few days you're telling me that your closest friends and your partner is watching me and following me. That is amazing, mind-blowing. So I promised him to say to him and to his partner Kate, all the way in England, hello England. So Kate, thank you so much for your love and support throughout all this time, and I'm happy to know that you're watching and enjoying it. And here is my promise fulfilled. And so it's always nice to, I meet people in the street in the day-by-day life that tells me that they watch this show, and it's really awesome. It's really good. It's really nice, because then I know who I'm able to touch, and they usually, give me some nice feedback, which is the charge back, Here I am giving an output, and when I get those feedbacks, that's the input. That comes back, and it's like, oh, that's a yummy feeling. Hello, Nicole. Welcome. I haven't responded to your SMS, Nicole, I'm sorry, but hopefully I will answer some of your inquiries on this love stream. So, yeah, Virgo. Again, let's fix our diet. You might be feeling the urge, the call to attend your body needs more. Herbs, naturopathy, Chinese medicine, acupuncture. It's a lot of body care. That's what Virgo is really good about, and that's what the energy is about. It's about grounding, attending your garden. Here in the southern hemisphere in Australia, we are entering springtime. So in September, we'll have spring equinox. So this is a good time to kind of clean your garden from all the dead leaves of winter and the herbs, and just cultivate the soil and mulch the soil and give the soil a new life. As you are about to plant this new seeds. So it's like planting the tomatoes. What is it, Virgo? Tomato or tomato? Potato or potato? So planting your plants, but before we plant the new seeds, we want to replenish the soil. So we're taking all the weeds out, we're taking all the dead leaves out, we are refreshing the garden, making the garden looks nice and clean from all the winter debris. And then we put in the mulch, and we put in the soil, the new nutrition into the soil. We are giving it new life, and then we plant the seeds. So take that as a metaphor for the Virgo season of hey, let's clean out all these dead leaves and all these weeds that grew up in our mind and in our life, and all these bad habits in our diet. Maybe winter time you spend way too much in front of Netflix or in front of your phone, and your body is aching, and your body is a bit heavy, and your body is a bit out of shape. So come on, Virgo season, let's put a new diet in place. Let's have more commitment to have more fruits, more vegetables, more earthy food, more exercise. The weather is gonna get nicer and nicer. We're gonna have more sunny days. We're gonna have warmer weather with the time. We had some beautiful days the last week or two. So it's a good time to kind of get back out there, do your walks, do your run, get back to gym, kind of take care of your health. This is what Virgo season is supporting. So that's on the physical level, on the health level. And then it's also mental. It's ruled by Mercury. And it's relating to the fact that Mercury is now direct. So Mercury was retrograding from Leo into Virgo, from Virgo into Leo, and now Mercury is stationed direct in Leo, and now Mercury is moving direct from Leo back into Virgo. So this will be also part of this Virgo season that is kind of Mercury went to Virgo, stopped on the 4th degree. It's something is going on here. Then Mercury retrograde back into Leo is what is this about? What is this about? And now Mercury is moving forward. And how is he moving forward? in a sustained trine to Chiron, which is all about healing. And Chiron is in Aries, it's about the self. So this is kind of like Leo is about how we feel about ourselves, how we, how we are, our pride, our self-dignity, our self kind of like our inner child wanting to shine and to be seen, to be heard, to perform, to kind of like the royal heart wants to love and to be loved and to have the best life it could have. But it kind of like it went through that, it was searching for that, got into Virgo, and it's like, something is not really working, something is not sitting right. I've been going through this thing, but I don't know what it's about. And it's been quite an intense Mercury retrograde this time. Hello, Sarah. Long time, Sarah. Good to feel you. So then Mercury stationed in retrograde in Virgo, and it's like I'm gonna go back, touch base with my heart. I want to see what's going on. And Mercury did all that with that Yod and with Uranus and with Chiron. So now Mercury stationed direct in a trine to Chiron. And later on tonight, tomorrow, the moon, which is now on 8-degree Leo, the moon will move forward and the moon will come to meet Chiron on the 22 degrees of Leo, and they both will trine Chiron. Sorry, the moon will move to meet Mercury direct on the 22 Leo, and they both will trine Chiron. And this is already the third trine. It happened first, it happened on the retrograde, it's stationed, now it's direct. It's the third time which we get in it. This is where we finally get in it. And this trine is like we might face the same situation, the same reflection, the same thought, but from more of a healed space, with more of a healing approach. And it's in Leo. It's like, hey, enough wounding ourselves about this. Let's say, Mercury went through Leo, you realize that you don't feel good, you didn't think good things about your appearance, about how your life. It goes to Virgo and stuff. It's like, okay, so let's get into the details and see what it's about. And goes through Leo backwards, and you go like, yeah, it's like I can see that maybe my diet and my habits, and I'm not feeling great about myself, and I'm thinking negative things about myself, and I'm putting myself down or criticizing myself and kind of like dumping my energy down. And now with this trine to Chiron, it goes like, okay, I need to change the way I think. It's Virgo season. It's supporting this. I need to change the way I think. I need to detox and to declutter my thoughts and my mental, my perception, the way I speak about myself, the way I think about myself, to support my royal self, my Leo, in a healing way. So it's like, you know what? Your life might, for example, I will act it out, yeah? Oh, my life is in the sheets, I'm not where I am, this is not really good, I don't feel good about myself and my business and this and that. Okay, you know what? It is what it is. To bring you an example, I've met this father in the soccer training this week, and all the soccer training is like he's been sharing with me his complaints. He's a master complainer, complain and complain and complain and complain. And he's sharing with me that, and I tell him it's like, and I joke with him about it, of how much he complains, but in a humoristic way, in a fun way, in a loving way. And we're laughing about it. He's like, yeah, I know, man. It's like an illness. It's like a disease. I can't stand it. And I keep on doing that. It's like that people, they disappointed me. And I keep holding on to it, a grudge. And I keep on telling the same story. And I don't like it. And I tell him, okay, what you're saying to me is that you are in a prison of yourself. And you want to break free. So here is the medicine for you. And I told you it's simple as that. Every time you find yourself grinding the story of your complaint, just say to yourself, it is what it is. It's like, yeah, but I told you exactly. And what's going to happen is that your ego is going to continue arguing about that, and you need to respond to your ego, it is what it is. And the ego can argue as much as it wants, but it is what it is. You are guiding the ego to come into terms, acceptance, understanding that it is what it is. You like it, you don't like it, you love it, you don't love it, you judge it, you criticize it, but it still is what it is. And that offers you that break free, that comfort of like, okay, whew. And so this is kind of for all of us now in this beautiful trine of Mercury to Chiron, third time. Mercury is in Leo. Let's think like lions. Let's bring that inner lion, that inner lioness into our mind forefront and guide ourselves, guide our being, and guide our mind to be more brave, more courageous, more strong, more royal, more loving to ourselves. That is can heal. It's Chiron, it's healing. It's happening anyway, and you might experience it in different ways. Now, since Mercury rules communication and interaction in our social environment, our local environment, this could come up through your conversations with other people. This will come up with, you're going in the street and you get a nice compliment. And you yourself, you were judging yourself in your head a few minutes before. And suddenly a few minutes after, you meet a person who's like, hey, I really love your dress. You look really awesome in it. And you go like, oh, wow. I thought that I'm not attractive. I was just thinking how I'm so unattractive, and suddenly I'm getting the feedback that I'm looking good. That's lovely. Let me take that on. Let me embrace that. That heals me. And then start changing those things. So Virgo season again, which is supported. We started this Virgo season coming up to this new moon in Virgo. And this new moon in Virgo will happen with this beautiful healing trine of Mercury to Chiron. So let's all choose the path of detox, of declutter, of healing that can help us think better about ourselves and feel better about ourselves. Mercury rules the mind. Neptune in Pisces on the 29 degrees also, the mind, the kind of like the subconscious mind. And I told you a few times in the past that throughout all this Pisces season, throughout all this Neptune in the end of Pisces, it's a lot of peeling the layers of the subconscious. So while in the kind of like in the micro astrology, all these things are happening in the backdrop. There's this Neptune in 29 Pisces and Saturn in Pisces helping us peel the layers of the subconscious. Of what plays with us, what is the illusions we have created, what is our paranoia and our illusions, our deception, how we deceiving ourselves, how we allow the subconscious things to play with us that install fear and paranoia and kind of like lies. We lying to ourselves, where are we lying to ourselves, things like that. And this will be supported further by Mars square to Neptune this week as well. But what I'm connecting it to is that Neptune at the end of Pisces is helping us peel in the layers of the unconscious, the subconscious. Then Pluto retrograding back to Capricorn. Pluto is the unconscious and goes back to Capricorn. It's kind of like, it's like in our personality, in our character, it's like what needs to die, what needs to end. It's kind of like enough with that same old crap. And then it's happening in Virgo season and this beautiful trine of Mercury to Chiron. So that's overall very beautiful beginning of this week that is already in play. Let's go to the exact time when it's happening. Here it is. The moon comes into Aries. That's on your 4 o'clock. The moon is in Aries and is traveling towards Mercury, and they will conjunct exactly here at your 4 o'clock. Mercury conjunct the moon tonight at 10:35 p.m. So 10:35 p.m. This is when moon conjunct Mercury. And what is that? Moon, the emotional body, the feminine, is conjunct Mercury, the mind. So we are processing, mentally processing, but also embodying a feeling, as both of them are trining Chiron on the 22:57. So they still have 38 minutes, astrological minutes, until the exact trine, but it's the build-up that is the most impactful. So here we are tonight, sitting, talking, sharing all these insights, and inside of us we're going through this process of emotionally and mentally figuring out things in a healing way. It's more healing. It's like we may face the similar situation over the last few weeks, but this time we come into it with a healing insight or a healing understanding, healing approach, or we are just feeling and experiencing a healed state of the same process. Okay? Let's see the exact. So first, the moon will do the exact trine to Chiron at 11:50 p.m. tonight, and then Mercury will do the exact trine to Chiron on Monday late night, 38 minutes past midnight on Monday. So tomorrow at 38 minutes past midnight is the exact moment of here 4 o'clock, Chiron 22:50. Oh, but no, Chiron went backwards 2 minutes, so let's take it here. There we go. There we go. The exact trine of Mercury to Chiron is tomorrow at 11:24 p.m. Okay, so all this time from now into tomorrow night, that's the theme of this today into tomorrow night, and there is more ingredients into it, but that gives us that feeling, that immediate, because Mercury is our immediate environment, our local environment, our mind, our interactions. There is a lot of healing ingredients in them as the big things happening in the background, because pay attention, by the time that Mercury will trine Chiron, Pluto is already 29:59 Capricorn, went back to Capricorn, and Uranus is stationed in retrograde. So we'll talk about that. I've started from the micro, from the personal planets of Mercury, Sun, the Moon, and now we're gonna go to Venus and Mars. Okay, so when Mercury will trine Chiron exactly, the moon will already be, that's tomorrow night, the moon already be on the 4th degree of Virgo towards the new moon moment. Venus is heading towards the south node and black moon Lilith and Juno. So Venus tomorrow night is already on the 4th degree, 53 minutes, about to go to the 5th. And Mars is on 28:37. So we are only looking at this personal yet. We're not talking about the big bangs in the background, okay? Because those are big topics. I'm just talking about the small personal planets and the new moon coming. So let's now move a few more hours. And the next thing that is happening is the new moon. New moon in Virgo happening on the 11th degree and 4 minutes, happening exactly on Tuesday at 11:55 a.m. So Tuesday afternoon, 11:55 a.m., we have the new moon in Virgo, here on your 3 o'clock, moon and sun 11:11 of Virgo, and they are not exactly in opposition to Saturn. They're like 5 degrees away, but it will have a slight flavor of it. I just need a bit of a drink, just a sec. Have a bit of a fun party time, baby. A bit of music, you know? Bit of music, bit of fun. And so the new moon in Virgo, what do we have on this new moon? Chiron, Mercury, 23 degrees of Leo, 16 minutes, is still coming off that trine to Chiron. So this new moon in Virgo is saying to us, hey, there's a lot of healing ingredients involved. As we detox and declutter, and by the way, Virgo rules the guts and detox, and as we clear the guts and fix our diet and drink more water and eat more vegetables and fruits and good things for our guts, that also directly linked to the mind. And that's what will help our mind and our mental to get clearer and more organized and more on top of things. And so the new moon in Virgo with Mercury still trine Chiron for the 3rd time, that means that there is a very healing resolution, a healing understanding, a healing amplification of healing. It's not like looking into the healing It's not wondering about the healing of the retrograde. It's about the assimilation of the healing, the understanding of the healing, the figuring out of the healing. It's bringing it back into plan. Virgo season, details, small details. Hola, hermano Stefan. Mucho love, mucho amor, hermano. So it's Virgo season, it's the small details, it's little changes, small changes, paying attention to the details. It's, if you start your morning with a glass of water and half a lemon squeezed into it, it's a great way to kind of like clear your liver in the morning and give your body some good kind of like, I lost the word. What's the word? I forgot the word. Those moments that you're trying to remember the word and you can't remember, and you go like, oh, that's Virgo. It's like, wait a second, I have to be precise about this word. What's that word? For the hydration, not radicals. I have to let it go. That's Virgo. You need to let go of being anal about the detail, because otherwise you get fried there. Just let it go. It will come. So starting the morning with I hope it entertained you the last minute. It was quite entertaining, I believe, seeing me in that kind of like mind-boggling moment. So Mercury trine Chiron on this new moon, and for example, in the Virgo season, it's like start the morning with a kind of glass of water. And I'm a coffee man, yeah. I love to start my day with coffee, but I will follow my own insight now, and I will tomorrow morning I'll make sure that I'll drink a glass of water with half a lemon squeeze in it to start my day. Celery juice, for example, great stuff for the stomach. Make sure you drink a good amount of water during the day. Hydration, just vitamins. If you need like supplements, or if you just make sure your diet have good vitamins and all the goodies that you need for your health. Make sure they say 1,000 steps in a day is the minimum, right? So it's like kind of make sure you're doing your steps per day, a bit of activity, move your chi, stretches, move your body. This Virgo season, great for body walk, massage, stretches, yoga, acupuncture, Chinese medicine, naturopathy, kind of like really tuning into the body and paying attention to the little details of what you eat and how you eat and when you eat, and those little changes there can fix a lot for you. So that's what Mercury trine Chiron supports, like you're realizing things, you're figuring out things that are very healing for yourself. What else is happening on this new moon in Virgo is that we have Venus here on your 3 o'clock approaching the exact conjunction with the south node of the moon. Now Venus is cool in Libra, because Venus, the goddess of love and relationships. Libra, it's kind of like how we relate to other people. Aries is about the self. Libra, the opposition, is about us and other people. So the love that we have, how do we bring it into the relationship, into our encounters, if it's business or friends or lovers or family? How can we kind of share, give and receive love in a balanced, equal way? Libra is about balance and equality and justice and fairness. But here Venus is coming to the south node. It's how we used to do it. It's what we come from, the kind of relationships that we come from. The kind of relationships we are walking away from, or we are guided to walk away from. Doesn't mean leaving your partner, meaning it's the form of relating. It's how you relate that is based on an old way, that in the past you thought that this is the harmonious, balanced, just way to relate, and now you are kind of, it's no longer valid for you. So I feel like I want to change the music now to some healing frequencies. So I'm bringing up 528 hertz with a 174 hertz for a full body cell regeneration. And thank you, Sudish, for this beautiful music until now. I just feel like I want something a bit calmer now. Yeah? Something a bit calmer. Let's take a deep breath. Breath brings us into our body. Breath calms down the mind. Breath regulates the body, the nervous system. We will need a lot of regulation this week with Uranus station in retrograde. So now, yeah, this is healing frequencies in the background. I feel it's good. You see? I was talking and I love the music in the background, but then I was like, you know what? Maybe it will be better now if I bring the healing frequency and this small little change of changing the music. And suddenly the entire vibe is different. Suddenly we are in this Om Shanti Om, this meditative place of like, this is nice. I can have my cup of tea now over there on your sofa. Cup of tea and snuggle and kind of like, this is calm. I like it. Mercury, trine, Chiron, do what heals you. And Virgo season, small little changes, doesn't have to be big, instead of being the silence in your home, allowing your mind to drive you crazy, just play some music, play some healing frequencies in the background, Detox your environment, detox your mind. Hello, Jules, good to have you with us. I'm very thirsty, I need to drink more. Okay, so, what else is on this new moon? And we said Venus. So Venus is coming to Libra, and she's searching for balance, equal, and harmonious relationships. And she's facing the South Node. So she's coming to the South Node saying, you know what? This is how I used to relate. This is the kind of people I used to relate to. This is the kind of relationship I used to be attracted to. I don't want to do that anymore. So let's say you're a people pleaser. You always please people because you want to make sure that people would love you. You like peace. You like everyone to be happy. So there's peace and there's joy and there's harmony. And you're doing that on the account of yourself. You're sacrificing your own needs and your own kind of things in order to be a people pleaser. And I think we all visit that at some points in our life. I know that I used to be a big people pleaser. And it's coming overall from a good place that you just want to share love and you want to amplify love, vibration, and you want everyone to be good, but let's say an old friend comes to visit you and they're going through some tough time, you're bringing them in, it's like, come stay with me, stay for a few nights, get your shit together and give yourself a bit of a break, anywhere I'm walking and stuff, you can just feel at home. And then the friend is there and he's feeling at home. So it's the wake up the morning after, it's like, oh, my back hurts. That mattress, you know what, you want to sleep in my bed tonight? It's like, it's alright, I don't mind sleeping on the sofa, like I've done it before. And you sacrifice your own bed to your friend to be comfortable because they have their back pain, and you sacrifice your own bed. And then you go to sleep in that sofa and he goes in sleeping in the bed, and then the morning after he wakes up like a sunshine. It's like, oh, this was so good, your bed is amazing, I had the best sleep of my life. And you wake up from the sofa all kind of like, oh my god, my body, what did I do to myself? And then you go into the shower and you think to yourself like, oh my god, what have I done? I can't, this, like, no, I can't do this. Like, how am I going to tell that friend now to go back to the sofa? No, I'm not gonna say anything. They're gonna go in a few days. What's a few days? I'll just be on the sofa. And what you're doing, you're being a people pleaser here. You want to please your friend out of your good heart, and you totally thinking it's cool, and some people would think it's cool. But maybe now comes the time that you go like, you know what? I can see the pattern. I can see what it is. And you know what? No, I need to go back into my bed. It's like, listen, I'm so happy you enjoyed the bed. But I wanted to give you that night, but I must be honest, I need my own personal space, it's my bedroom and all my stuff. So tonight you'll be back on the sofa. Is that alright with you? And the friend goes, yeah, whatever you do is good for me. So suddenly you thought that that friend will be put off and really won't like your truth, but you've served yourself and you've pleased your own needs, and that friend actually understood and was still grateful, because at the end of the day you are hosting that friend. And then you come back after the second day and this story goes on, and you come back and all the shopping you've done on the weekend, the fridge is half empty because that friend likes to eat a lot, and the expensive cheese you bought is gone, and that special drinks that you love, your kombucha, is gone, and oh my god, that organic cacao is finished, and you go like, how the freaking freak did he manage to drink all the cacao and all this? Like, and you go like, oh my god, it's like, this is becoming an expensive kind of experience. And you go like, oh, never mind, people pleaser. But then you might go and say, look mate, it's like, I'm really happy to have you here, but would you mind chipping in for some grocery shoppings? Just like, I'm in a bit of a tight situation here as well. And you're doing something that you didn't used to do. You're doing something that you used to think like, no, never mind. But you yourself are in a tight financial situation. You can't really afford extra groceries and extra this and extra that. And anyway, you're already hosting that friend. You're already saving that friend money by hosting them. And it's pretty fair to ask for that friend to contribute for some groceries that friend is eating and drinking. There's nothing wrong in that. But you never used to do that. But suddenly you do that. And it's accepted. And you go like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that old shit anymore. Yeah, this is cool. So this is for one example of, for example, the people pleaser that is deciding, I don't want to be that people pleaser anymore. I'm done with that. Like, I've changed. The last few years have changed us. We've changed if we like it or not. But now comes the assimilation of this change, which is supported by the big bangs in the background, which we will talk about. So Venus in Libra coming to the South Node to conjunct the South Node, and on this new moon it's literally a degree and 9 minutes apart, so it's pretty much there. And Black Moon Lilith is very close as well, so it's kind of like Venus, new moon in Virgo, starting with this new intention of detox and declutter and purifying our environment, our mind, our diet, our everything. And Venus, the goddess of relationships, finance and jobs and money and career and beauty and health, is coming to the South Node, and it's like, done with that, no more with that. So it's kind of, it could be experienced as realization of past patterns in relationships, or people you used to be attracted to, or type of relationships that you used to be attracted to that you're no longer attracted to. You don't want to do the same shit again. You're just done with it. So it could come up to you as kind of like, nah, not doing that anymore. Nah, not into this friend anymore. Not into that kind of friendship anymore. You know what? I'm decluttering my social circles. Mercury in Leo. What kind of people makes me feel royal? What kind of people am I enjoying their company? What kind of people value me, love me, appreciate me, respect me as I want to be loved, appreciated, respected? What kind of people and environment is actually supporting my royal heart frequency? I'm done with the bullshit. I want the good shit. I want the real good shit. And so this could be a time where relationships, friendships, environment is being kind of going through a phase of detox. And there's nothing wrong, you used to be very close to that friend. You've got nothing against them. Overall, they're good people. But you just don't really fit in the same way you thought you'll fit. Or maybe in the past you used to fit, but you've changed a lot, they changed a lot, and you don't fit as much as you used to. So it doesn't mean like ditch them and move on and forget about them. It just means moving them from that first inner circle to the second or third or fourth or fifth circle. Of like, hey, how you going? Hey, how you going? Let's have a coffee once a month, once in 2 months, once in 3 months. They're still a friend, but they're not as close, as immersive friendship as it used to be. And that's totally okay, because that will also support them finding their new relations, their new frequency that matches them. You know, since it's Virgo and it's therapy, you know, this could mean, you know, maybe people changing their GP, maybe people changing you know, the herbalist or the Chinese doctor, trying a new one, you know, being attracted to try a new kind of gym or a new health shop, or just because the old doesn't fit anymore, the vibe is not the same anymore. Just giving you examples. Finance, investment, you know, this could mean that, like, you know, maybe you used to be attracted to this kind of investment and this type of expenses, but maybe it just doesn't suit you anymore, so you're kind of walking away from that. And with the new moon in Virgo, it's about, like, let's just perfect the plan. What's really essential, what's really beneficial, what is healthy, what is actually making sense. And Virgo is kind of like sitting and looking at the details in a very grounded way, categorizing, tagging things. Like, for example, I tell you, it's like, I'm working on my new website, and I started working on this website in Mercury retrograde. So I've already kind of like paid for the subscription of the website, I've paid for the domain, and I'm working on the design and I'm working on the context. But I knew that it's not going to be launched in a week or two in Mercury retrograde. I knew it's like, no, I'm going to give myself the time. I'm not going to pressure myself. I want to pay attention to the details, that it's really the way I want to make it. And looking, it's like, okay, doing it, walking away, coming back. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Perfect the plan, perfect the website. Kind of like cleaning up the noise, making it more essential, grounded, needed, necessary, and functional. That's Virgo. That's one example. You can, you know, go into your wardrobe and it's like, okay, I have this wardrobe, it's cluttered, it's jammed with clothes, I'm not even wearing that, I haven't worn that jumper for years and I'm still having it here. Why am I having it here? Spring clean, okay, I haven't worn that for 2 years, 3 years, out. Oh, this is small, this is short, this is the color went off, okay, out, clear. Your office space, okay, organize the paperwork, organize the folders, organize your email. You have all this subscription, all these newsletters, all these kind of like things coming in, and your inbox is decluttered. You don't even look at all these emails, they're just piling up. You go in, tack, delete. That's kind of what Virgo season support, with Venus coming to the South Node. Just end of old ways, end of old relationships, end of old patterns in relationships, ending of old way of relating. So this kind of like Virgo season, writing down, planting the seeds of the new grounded approach to your relationships. What type of people do you really want to have in your life? And this is Virgo. It's like the details, kind of like, what type of people you really want to have in your life? What type of relationship do you really want to have in your life? What do you want to attract? What do you want to bring in? Because the coming few months is going to show us the past that is breaking down, fading away, ending, mastered, signature stamped, graduated. So this is what Venus with the South Node are going to help us do. The black moon Lilith there is the shadow feminine. So it's going to show us the shadow feminine patterns of our behavior that we need to acknowledge. It's like, whoa, I was a people pleaser because my shadow feminine was that I needed to be loved in order to feel love. No, screw that. So that's how Black Moon Lilith is helping us, Venus, do that action of like, no, screw that. I'm gonna rebel against that. That's not right. Yes, but Venus, but you know, she's always kind of weighing things in Libra. But if I say no, what will they this? And if I say yes, what will they this? But what do they think about me? It's like, and then Black Moon Lilith is kind of like Venus. It's very simple. Just don't give a fuck. Just don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter what people think about you. What people think about you is beyond your control. People will think good things about you, the day after they will think bad things about you, and if you will weigh your sense of self-love and awesome life on the weight of what people think about you, you will never be happy, you will never find harmony. So stop caring as much as you used to care about what people will say about you or think about you if you make these changes in your life. You need to do what is right for you. Black Moon leads the third to Venus. And Venus is kind of saying, yeah, but you know, this is how I always did it. South Node in Libra. That's how I always did it. That's how I used to see it. That if you are loving someone, you need to do everything for them and, you know, sacrifice everything for them. And it's like, and Black Moon is, yeah, and how far did that get you, baby? Huh? Because I'm here. And I'm like, I'm not happy about things. I'm not happy how you do your thing. I'm not happy how you run the love relationship. I'm not happy how you run the finances. I'm not happy how you do your life. That's why I'm here with you on the South Node, saying like, enough with this thing. It's time to cut the cords. The nodes are on 6 degrees. That's it. The final 6 degrees of the axis, they will change into Pisces Virgo at the beginning of 2025. So we are now also in the final 6 degrees of Aries Libra, which we started last year. So it's like, hey, all this time, the North Node in Aries, together with Chiron, all that thing showed you is like, enough. We don't want this anymore. We want a new self. We want a new sense of self, a new way of being ourselves. We want to be a healed state of self. No more wounded self. No more wounded self with Chiron. And the South Node is in Libra is showing us the past patterns of this life and past lifetime of what karmic things we are doing in our relationships, of how we relating, how we evaluating a relationship, how we evaluating love and sex and money and finance and investment and beauty and health. So it's amazing that Venus comes to meet the South Node here in Libra for the final time before the South Node is going to shift into Virgo next year, together with Black Moon Lilith and Juno. Juno is there too. Later on she will meet Juno. So Juno, the sacred goddess of sacred relationships, Black Moon Lilith, the shadow feminine, the rebellious self, is going like, hey, you don't tell me how to be, I'm going to tell you how to be. South Node is like, but that's how you used to do it, that's how what we know. And Venus is like, I just want love and peace and harmony, please. And so Venus is really coming into Libra because she wants peace, she wants love, she wants harmony, she wants balance. But she can't find it because she's trying to do it in the same old ways, South Node. So Black Moon Lilith is coming and injecting this rebellious thing of like, stop doing the same old thing. It's time to rebel against the old ways. It's time to change, to think differently, to behave differently, to do things differently. There is a new definition of justice, of fairness, of balance that you're not familiar with, but it doesn't mean that it's not justice, that it's not balanced, that it's not fair. You're just not used to it. You didn't used to think like that, to relate like that, but allow yourself to get to understand this in a new way. And after Venus will pass them, she comes to Juno and is like, this feels more sacred now. Thank God I did that change. This feels more sacred. Yeah, this feels more loving. This feels more balanced. So there's a bit of kind of a journey of Venus in Libra in the coming week. She's going through these past patterns and past relationships, maybe even reflecting this lifetime, past lifetime, partners you had, things you had in your relationships. As Mercury is doing the trine to Chiron, healing realizations, healing assimilation of new thoughts, a new way of communicating and dealing in relationships through the self, through the healed state of self. In a new moon in Virgo, of detoxing and decluttering and perfecting, pay attention to the details. Excuse me. And then after Venus will pass the South Node and Black Moon Lilith, then she will come to Juno, the sacred goddess, to kind of find that and connect with that. Message answered. I knew it. My pleasure, Nicole. Now, there is another ingredient to that, but my bladder is saying to me, Ami, I need to declutter and detox my bladder. So can you please put the other people on hold, even though they may not like it, But remember, it's not about pleasing them, it's about pleasing me, or bladder. So Ami is gonna attend this bladder now for 1 minute, as you're gonna enjoy the healing frequencies, meditate, take a breath. You can go to the toilet yourself or have a cup of tea, and I will see you in a minute. It's as simple as that. You see, it's a great example. Honey, I'm back. You see, bladder is happy, I'm happy, I'm now with more balance, peace and harmony in my body, more relaxed, and I can continue serving and doing my thing with more comfort. That's a great example, really. Attend to your needs first. That's where the balance and harmony and love begins from. And if you will change the way you think, to disregard what people will think about it or say about it or feel about it, while you actually serve your needs first and fill your cup first and take care of your body, your heart, your love, your mind, organically, the people that you will meet, the partners you will manifest, the relationships you will have, organically will be infused with this new frequency. People will appreciate you more, value you more, love you more, accept you more, because it started within you. So everything outside of us is a reflection of ourselves, and all we need to do is just pay attention to the inner details, the small little details of how we relate to our body, to ourselves, and by taking care of that, the external dynamics will change. Just like a magic spell. Some will change immediately, some over time, but it will change. So, that's what Venus is doing on this new moon in Virgo, okay? New moon in Virgo, with Venus, with South Node, Black Moon Lilith, Juno. It's really phenomenal to see this. That it's all in Libra, that it's all about relationships, it's all about balance and justice and fairness, and you've got everything that's got to do with the feminine there. Venus, the goddess of the feminine, love relationships. Black Moon Lilith, the shadow feminine, the rebellious feminine of don't do shit in the same way, do shit in a new way. Juno, the goddess of sacred relationships, of what is really sacred, which relationships are really sacred. So Black Moon Lilith helps us do the declutter and the detox in our relationship of like cutting this out and letting this go and letting that go. Yesterday I had a phone call from a lovely, lovely sister. She was very emotional. She developed feelings for her partner, and her partner is not really her partner. It's someone she's entangled with, and she likes that partner, that entangled person, and she wants to have a relationship with that person, but the other person is in a place in their life that they're actually looking for an open framework of relationship which doesn't fit the person that was inquiring. And it was this beautiful kind of pain of like an attachment to something that she wished to have with that person that can't happen because the other person likes her but doesn't want the same thing like her. It wants it in a different way based on their place and values. But that ethical non-monogamous form of relationship doesn't sit well with her, and she can't do that. And she was crying and suffering because she really want to have it with that person, but she can't have it in that way because it doesn't sit well with her. She wants it in that way. And so the guidance was very simple. listen to you. He loves you more. And if your soul is telling you that ethical non-monogamy is not really for you, and if you are not capable of doing that and doesn't sit right with you, even though you really like the other person, you need to like you more and to love you more and to just do what you need, which is to walk away from that. And then she asked me, but what do you think about that person wanting it that way? And I told her very simple. Who am I to judge? It's not for me to judge. It's not for you to judge. So it's not for us to judge other people for being who they are. It's about us accepting other people as they are. If that person wants to be in a situation of ethical non-monogamy because of their own personal life story and wherever they are in their life, bless them. That's what they want to experience. But if it doesn't sit with you, you just need to move on. It doesn't mean you need to put that person on a death kind of role, death kind of punishment, and no. Just move them from an intimate encounter into a friend encounter. Cut the intimacy, cut the romance, because otherwise you will be suffering there. Cut the intimacy, cut the romance, move them to the second, third circle, and then come back to you. And she cried. And I told her, listen, what if this is your final exam that is testing you before your real true love comes? So sometimes letting go of something that you wanted to have and you wish to have is very painful. Most of the time it's very painful, it's very hard. If we can only look at it as like, if it's hard and if it's challenging, there must be a huge personal growth and development and evolution here involved for me. And instead of sacrificing myself in order to fit to that equation, in order to have that kind of glimpses of intimacy and relationship that I know that I'm not going to be able to have from there, but I might have glimpses of it, and at least I'll kind of compromise on that rather than have nothing. Flip it around and says, I'd rather have nothing for a moment than something for a few moments with nothing in between. And by having nothing for a period of time and saying no to something that might come here and there, I will grow, I will learn, I will love myself more, I will value myself more, I will connect with myself more, I will develop and build a whole new relationship with myself. I'll get to know myself better. I get to understand myself better. I will change. My frequency will change organically with the process. And with the time, someone else will come that will suit the new frequency, and that will be everything I ever wanted. And if we think like that, that's the Mercury trine Chiron. I am not wounded by this. I am healing through this. This is for my healing. This challenge, this breakdown, this friction, this discomfort, this pain, this fear, this paranoia, this despair, this everything that we are processing and going through in this time. This new moon in Virgo is saying, hey, this is going to be a wild Virgo season cycle, people. This is going to be nuts. It's going to be wild, wild west. Pluto back into Capricorn, Uranus station in retrograde on this new moon, by the way. That's a whole... We haven't even got to the big bangs. I'm just talking to you. Until now we spoke about Sun and Moon, Mercury, and Venus. Now we're gonna move into Mars. So it's like I'm giving it to you in a Virgo manner. Just tapas, finger food. I gave you the Sun and the Moon finger food, Mercury finger food. I'm building it up for you in layers. Now I gave you Venus. So keep them, categorize all these ingredients I'm giving you, alright? Now let's go to Mars. What is Mars doing on this new moon? This is the chart for the new moon, by the way. Mars on this new moon is on the 28 degree 56 minutes of Gemini, ending Gemini, the critical end degrees, alright? The 29, the anoretic degree, the crisis degree, where things really have to be nailed and understood and figured and happening. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, as Mercury is trining Chiron in Aries. Who is ruling Aries? Mars. Beautiful. The ruler of Chiron is in the home of Gemini, who is trining Chiron. Beautiful, amazing, at the end of Gemini. So Mars is, it really want to get into the definition, the realization, the decision, making the decision, sign that contract or cancel that contract, move a house, sell the car or buy the car, send that email or send that application or forget about that application, take that job or just let go of that job. This is Mars at the end of Gemini. It could be, I'll stop for a second to say hello to Dee Lennon, good to have you with us. So what we need to be careful with Mars at the end of Gemini is like Mars is active, it's like this masculine, this abrupt, this kind of like desire, willpower at the end of Gemini, quick thinking, quick talking, quick saying. We want to be careful that we're not too abrupt or too volatile or too kind of this, and kind of like also it could mean a lot of mental activity. So thank God we're in Virgo season. Thank God it's a new moon in Virgo that helps us to ground, meditate, breathe, body consciousness, body awareness, because Mars at the end of Gemini is that the mind is very busy. There's a lot of information coming in, there's a lot of processing, there's a lot of talking, there's a lot of interactions, there's a lot of ideas, there's a lot. Now, so much. What's adding to that is that Neptune is on the 29 degrees 00 of Pisces, about to go to the 28. And so on this new moon, Venus is doing her thing here in Libra. And Venus, by the way, is ruling Libra. So Venus is home in Libra. So the South Node is in Libra, the home of Venus. So Venus is going through that process of like closing in, like no more of that. Changing the patterns of relationships, of people, of things. That's happening there in Libra. It's like enough with the past. Mars, at the end of Gemini, is squaring Neptune. And Neptune is as I told you, the subconscious, the illusions, the deceptions, the lies, the stories, the dreams, the fantasy. I had a fantasy that this... If we follow up the story of that lovely lady, that lovely sister, she had a dream and the fantasy that partner will be her partner and it will work out and everything's gonna be amazing because he really likes that person and da 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 da. And she's been disillusioned now. She's going through the process of disillusionment, of kind of like the fantasy and the illusion she has created. She realizes, Mars in Gemini, she's realizing on an intellectual, mental level that her dream is not gonna happen. The fantasy is not gonna happen. There's a disillusionment there that is supported by Venus there. She's realizing why she's doing that. She realized what she was looking for there and what the patterns that she was kind of playing out in that equation. And so she's guided not to do that anymore in order to find real love, balance, harmony, justice, fairness. The new moon in Virgo is like detox and declutter and body grounded. Mercury trine to Chiron is like healing realization. So Mars square to Neptune, we might feel tired. Neptune effect could be like, kind of like fog or kind of overwhelm, kind of mental kind of exhaustion, or just want to escape. It's too much. I just want to escape. And the square to Neptune is kind of like the square is a challenge. It's kind of like, hey, you have to see through your illusion. Can you see? I'm showing you the deception. I'm showing you the illusion. I'm showing you where you're lying to yourself. I'm showing you your paranoia. What is this paranoia? What is this about? This paranoia that you have created in your subconscious mind based on something that happened to you in the past, that is based on past relationship experiences there with Venus in the South Node there. And I'm showing it to you because Mercury in Chiron wants you to assimilate healing realizations, healing thoughts, healing perception. You are healing, you're not wounded. You are not wounding yourself now, you are healing yourself now. And this new moon in Virgo is saying like, hey, we need to declutter and detox all these things that causes you paranoia. If you are watching the news 24/7 and it gives you fears and anxiety and paranoia and mental overwhelm because you're feeling hopeless and anxious, what are you doing? What are you doing? Declutter your time on social media? Declutter your time of watching the news? How much you follow, how much you read, how much you're looking into it, how much you consume. If it causes your body consciousness and your mind anxiety and overwhelm and paranoia and fear, what are you doing? Virgo season, come back into the moment. Go outside, give thanks for the beautiful blue sky. Simple details, Virgo. What brings you joy in the simple way? Hug a tree, bare feet on the earth, take a breath. Healing frequency. Right here, right now, with me. You're listening to this healing frequency, you're listening to this guidance. Take a breath. Everything comes down, everything settles down, everything centers, and you can keep on going. So, just one demonstration. So on this new moon, from now it's already happening, Mars is squaring Neptune. Our mental mind is active, we need to make decisions. The communication, interactions may be abrupt, maybe, now let's add the detail that Uranus is stationed in retrograde right now. Volatility to the max, shocks, traumas, sudden, unexpected, with Mars at the end of Gemini squaring Neptune, gaslighting, lies, cheats, affairs, betrayals, propaganda, media, information overload. This is all way too much. Mars kind of like, I can't make decision. I don't know what about you. What do you need to make decision? And it's like, oh. So that's how it can be challenged there. Yeah. So on this new moon, Mars is squaring Neptune. There's decisions we need to make. There's clarity we need to gain in regards to our masculine, to our willpower, to our desires, where we want to go, what we want to do, where we want to be, who we want to be with, how we want to be. And the challenge is not to be delusioned, not to be deceived, not to be gaslit, not to be subjected to your own subconscious patterns that you are peeling in order for you to find your dream. Now you can go further in this path of looking at the time that Mars conjunct Neptune. Where was the seed planted? Just for the sport? When was the seed planted? When was Mars with Neptune? At the end of April. There we go. Mars Neptune on your 9 o'clock. 29th of April, 2024. What seeds have you planted? And this is 28 degrees of Pisces. What seeds have you planted for your masculine self, for your ego self, for your direction? There is a new dream, a new connection to spirit, a new way of being in your spirituality, of your divinity, your creativity, your sensitivity, your dream time, your healing. What new seeds have you planted on those kind of archetypes that is now, on this new moon, coming to the friction, to the challenge, to the test point of, so how are we going about that? So again, 29th of April, Mars conjunct Neptune, and now Mars square Neptune on this new moon. Interesting, huh? You can write that down for yourself. 29th of April, something was sown, the seed was sown, and here you are now being challenged about it. And the challenge is ultimately in order to push us into a breakthrough, into a development. So it's kind of like, it's almost like the intention was planted, and now the universe saying like, hey, remember that intention? I'm challenging you now in order to remind you of that intention, in order to get some progress from you. So the challenge is coming from Gemini to Pisces, the mind. So what are you going to do about it in your mind, in your local environment, in your contracts, in your dealings, in the way you speak, the way you think? How are you going to get into that new connection to spirit, into that new divinity, in that new dream, that new fantasy, that new healing? How you're going to get there is challenged now in your mind. You need to make the change in your mind, in your perception, in your thoughts. How you interact with people, how you communicate, how you speak. A lot about that was shown to you over the last few weeks with Mercury retrograde, of what needs to change. How you represent yourself, how you speak, how you communicate, Leo to Virgo, Virgo back to Leo, and now Mercury is direct, assimilating the realization in a trine to Chiron for healing. The healed state is now talking. Okay. Neptune, Pisces, unconditional love. Healing, spirit, dream. I wanted to have a new dream of love, a new dream of music, a new song, a new painting. And now I've been through a lot, and now, okay, what is my new affirmation? What is my new vision board? Vision board. Mars at the end of Gemini, on the Pleiades, by the way. The vision board, sorry, the Pleiades is the beginning of Gemini. The vision board, if you want to get that vision, that dream, what are you doing about it? Like, are you writing it down? Have you journaled it? Have you kind of repeated that affirmation for yourself? What about doing a vision board for that, so you have those pictures in front of you and you have those affirmations in front of you, so you don't lose sight of that? Nice one. New Moon in Virgo. And you grounded in Virgo is like, hey, the details. You want to have a new romance? What about putting a picture of romance or the word romance on your vision board? You want to have a whole new different type of relationship that you never had before? That's kind of like honest, integrity, loyal, respectful, loving, truthful, accepting, whatever it is. Print it out, put it on your vision board. Here's the Virgo. Tag in what you want. Mars square to Neptune. Do something about it. Instead of being like, oh, it's never gonna happen to me, I'm just over it. And like, no. 820. Okay. So that's Mars square Neptune on this new moon. What else is happening? Remember we spoke about the last love stream. Jupiter is coming off the square to Saturn, right? 1915 to 1625, so the 3 degrees orb, they're still there. And this is gonna happen until next June, okay? They're breaking apart, they're coming back together, breaking apart, coming back together. And so this is always Jupiter square Saturn, always big fundamental changes. So Jupiter in Gemini is helping us to think in a different way, change our mind, growth and expansion. That's what Jupiter is offering us in Gemini, through the little details, through the people we meet, okay? Like one of the things that represent Jupiter in Gemini, I said that when he entered there, was like an urban retreat rather than overseas retreat. And there is a new trend in Melbourne over the last year of this kind of exclusive kind of like spiritual hubs or spiritual clubs that is members only, and they pay like $400, $500, $600 a month just to be like an exclusive member of that club, and they have their own rituals and their own things. So that's classic Jupiter in Gemini. For example, Jupiter in Gemini doing a 4 months, 6 months course for a certain new certificate rather than doing a 3 years degree. Jupiter in Gemini. It's kind of like getting new qualification, new certification through local kind of study, Gemini study, information, even doing a course online that gives you more insight and expand your understanding and growth. That's what Jupiter is doing in Gemini. And let's move to the next big bang, boom, boom. Uranus. Uranus is going retrograde on this new moon. Now, what is Uranus ruling? The sudden, unexpected, volatile, shocks, traumas, maverick, epiphanies, enlightenment, realization, transcendental, the genuine, the authentic, kind of like out of the box, radical, quirky, free, breaking free, kind of like a whole new thing, raising the bar, a new frequency. Now he's going retrograde in Taurus on a 27 degree, which is the first time he's been on this 27 degree since 1941, which was the beginning of World War II, where the USA kicked in after Pearl Harbor, and this is where everything really kind of picked up. So what do we see around the world? Echoes of that kind of resonance, of armies moving everywhere and threats everywhere, the Middle East, Russia, Ukraine, the China region, Taiwan, America, South America. What do we have? Homeland security, it's like, so England is now doing this weird phase of like totalitarian, kind of like a lot of people saying similar to communism, where people get arrested. Like I saw this movie on Twitter this week, that police came to arrest this man that posted a flag emoji. It goes like, are you serious? A flag emoji. And he kind of debated them about that, and it's like, how is that harmful? How is that condemning anyone? It's like, I just posted a flag, and the police basically left. But right now, if you are in England, you can't post anything, share anything, like anything on Twitter that is around the mess that is going on there. But I don't know how much you're exposed to it, but almost every day there is another story and another story about stabbing, about violence. It's like yesterday I think I saw that a 13-year-old boy was stabbed to death in some suburb in some town in England. Today, a woman in a bus in Germany on a way to summer festival in Germany, a woman stabbed 3 people to death. So there's a lot of things happening out there with homeland security, and not just there, in America as well. I've seen this week like a group of illegal immigrants from Venezuela took over an apartment building, kicked out the residents that lived there, and took over. In England, old people have been told by the council they need to evacuate the house for asylum seekers. So there's like a lot of really weird things happening in homeland security. That's Taurus. So on top of the international kind of homeland security wars and threat of wars, which is Taurus, then comes all the immigration, the asylum seekers concept that is going on all around Europe and in America, that is kind of threatening the balance and the safety and the security of the homeland, of the people who live there, of their families, and that's kind of like so there's a lot of shocking events happening, a lot of traumatic events happening. Just giving examples. But Taurus is also Mother Earth, Mother Nature, earthquakes, volcanoes, severe weather storms. There's a lot of solar flare activity. We are in the peak of solar cycle 25, which means that the sun is really ejaculating a lot of solar flares and a lot of hot spots, and there's a lot of energy we are receiving from space as well. And this energy we are receiving from space, from the solar activity, is basically on a metaphysical level, is the upgrades of our DNA. Isn't it kind of like the frequency is shifting our DNA? So these new light codes are coming in, which is why Virgo is saying, like, just nourish your body, take care of your body. You can't if you get lost in the outside world and everything's going on, you're not gonna find joy or happiness or love or whatever. Just find joy and happiness and love in the small detail in your life, in the hug, in the tree that you can hug in your garden, your best friend, in hugging them. Last week, this week, Wednesday, Thursday, I told the community there was a beautiful powerhouse trine when Venus entered Libra on 0 degree. She was in a beautiful trine to Pluto. And that was, like I said to the family, this is like a real deep, strong, intimate expressions of love and desire for love and intimacy. And for single people, it could mean that, you have this very karmic, strong pull towards someone, or you're manifesting someone into your life. There is feeling like a very deep connection, or you might have like an increased desire to have like intimacy with someone if you're in a partnership or single. And for me, the most simple expression of it, that on that night, and I'm just giving this as an example of how it can translate even in things that it doesn't mean that the best lover of your life suddenly knocks on your door and you have the great sex of your life, right? For me personally, it was like Mali and I, laying down on the sofa watching a movie, and he's whispering in my ear like maybe 4 or 5 times during the night in the most really passionate, deep way, "I love you." I was like, oh my God, I'm melting here. This is such a medicine thing, this deep expression of love, of connection, So this is how it could have felt this week with Venus trine Pluto. So back to Uranus. Uranus is now stationed in retrograde, and this is the new moon chart where Uranus is stationed going retrograde on this new moon. And this means that it's like the new moon in Virgo is going to help us kind of stay grounded and ground ourselves and just kind of take care of our body and our mind, because the reality, physical reality, and our relationships and our businesses and our finance and economy and Mother Earth and agriculture and health are going to go through a lot. There's now anything can happen any moment, and I spoke about last week, directly linked to the financial system, to the economy, to assets, to values, to agriculture, to food supply chain in general. It can be very volatile, oil, petrol, groceries, foods, medicines, anything, because there's going to be now Uranus retrograde. But the interesting thing how it relates to Venus, because Venus rules Taurus. So Uranus is retrograding now, stationary retrograde in Venus home. So as Venus is about to meet the South Node and Black Moon Lilith, which is ultimately rebellion against the old way and stop doing these things the same way, Uranus retrograding now, stationary retrograde in Taurus, is also saying like it's time to rebel against the old way. It's time to do relationships in a new way. Because this is 27 degree of Taurus. Now it's going to retrograde back to the 25th, 24, and then it's going to move direct, and next year he's moving to Gemini. Yes, he will come back, but he's moving to Gemini. So we are now in this final phase of Uranus in Taurus. And so Uranus is kind of saying to us, hey, listen, I'm going retrograding now until January. Then in January I'm going direct, and I'm going to go all the way through the 27, 28, 29 degrees, the anoretic end degrees of Taurus, where we're going to create a manifested revolution here. And then I'm going to move to Gemini, and I'm going to come back to finish the job, and then I move to Gemini for sure. So before I'm going to these final degrees of 28, 29 Taurus, I've now stopped on the 27 to help you change things before I'm going to force you to change things. So if you're going to resist the change will rack you. That's Uranus. Uranus is the god of the skies. If you're going to be flexible, adjustable, go with the flow, be creative, just go with it. Go with the change. Whatever it tells you, whatever it guides you, whatever happens in your life, you don't get fried, you don't get stuck, you don't get because that's the trauma, that's the shock. Changes happening, go with them. Things guiding you to change things, go with it. Think outside of the box. Be flexible. Just be adjustable. Just get it all as universe is forcing you to raise your frequency, to raise the bar, not to stay the same. go with it. Go with it, go with it, go with it. And that will make it easier for you, okay? Drink lots of water. Virgo season, Virgo new moon, Uranus station in retrograde. Nervous system activity. There's a lot of nervousness, anxiety potential, nervous energy potential, because things are going to happen that may rattle you, may shake you, may kind of like put you in a bit of a, oh my god. And you're gonna have to do the Mercury trine Chiron. Think in a healing way. Heal yourself through your perception, your mind. Talk to yourself the good things. Virgo season, Virgo new moon. Pay attention to the little details. How you think, what you say to yourself. Change it. Ground yourself. Take a breath. Eat well, drink well, do yoga, do stretches, ground yourself, feet on the earth. And that will help you to get through the big changes in a better way. But there's no doubt things are gonna get wowie, crazy, roller coaster, okay? As Uranus is stationed in retrograde, what else is happening is that it's in a beautiful trine to Pluto that is now entered Capricorn. So when did Pluto, so this is the new moon chart, and on this new moon chart Pluto is already back in Capricorn, Uranus is retrograde, okay? And to top that up, the fact that Uranus station in retrograde is nervous system activity and kind of maybe anxiety, maybe things happening out of nowhere. Mars is squaring Neptune, which is again mental overwhelm. I can't take this anymore. I'm so tired. I'm so out of it. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to say. Blah, blah, blah. And this is here the medicine. Mercury trine Chiron, new moon in Virgo. That's the medicine. Okay. Here is the challenge. Mars square Neptune, Uranus retrograde, Pluto back in Capricorn. Big challenges. Okay. But also see, Pluto sextile Neptune, sextile Uranus. So ultimately it's all supportive spiritual evolution, soul evolution that will radically change and revolutionize our earthly life, our relationships, our finance, our jobs. So everything in our physical reality, in our relationships, in our jobs, in our finance, everything is going to go through a massive, rapid amount of changes over the coming month, and it might rattle us. It might be some nerve-wracking, it might be some different big things that are overwhelming us, that are gonna force us to look into our subconscious things, Neptune, unconscious fears, Pluto, subconscious bullcrap of Neptune, are the illusions, fantasies, and lies, and propaganda, and paranoia. And Uranus here is like, Uranus trine Pluto as Pluto sextile Neptune as Neptune sextile Uranus. Beautiful, supportive for us. It's all for us. It might be challenging, it might be tough, it might be shocking, it might be kind of rattling, it might be unnerving, but ultimately it is for us. Not just as individuals, but as a collective, as a planet, as humanity. So expect a wow period of time starting from now, September, October, November, massive. Reminding you, we're also now starting eclipse season, which is a whole new volume. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot happening, right? But let's just pay attention to the small details, Virgo season. So when does Uranus go retrograde? So, first of all, the first thing that is happening is humming is good for you as well. Pluto goes into Capricorn tomorrow morning, 9:57 a.m. So this is the last night of Pluto in Aquarius for a while, until October. Tomorrow morning we wake up, we go to work, Pluto is back in Capricorn. And what is Pluto in Capricorn? 2008 until now. What is Pluto on the 29th degree of Capricorn? Things that happened to you in in March 2023, June 2023, January 2024, and now. So now is the fourth time, and the fifth time is on the way direct. Okay? So for you to understand, Pluto facing our deepest fears, facing our traumas, facing dynamics of power and control. Hello Anna, welcome. Facing dynamic of power and control, obsessions in Capricorn, our character, our profession, our responsibilities, our maturity, our how we represent ourselves in society, the character we have developed ourselves to be, and how we present ourselves out there, how we hold ourselves, our integrity, our karma. So Capricorn ruled by Saturn. Pluto is now back in Capricorn from tomorrow morning, which means that Pluto is now disposing Saturn. Pluto is empowering the energy of Saturn. Pluto is dealing with the energy of Saturn. So Saturn is in Pisces, helping us to kind of like be more responsible of our spirituality, of our faith, of our unconscious, of our subconscious mind. Is helping us to peel the layers and create some order. Pluto is now going back to Capricorn to help create the deep, profound, fundamental, evolutionary change. Pluto is the agent of change. Not just a small change, but a big change. And in this case, Pluto is now for the final 2 months in Capricorn since 2008 for the rest of our life. From now until the 20th of October, and then Pluto is gonna move back to Aquarius for 20 years. And so you can look at your entire chapter of 2008 until now, who you are in society, how you developed yourself, your profession, your character, your responsibilities that you took onto yourself, the structure of your life, and that which was, the karma that you had to go through, the hard lessons that you had to learn, how much you have matured, how much you have graduated. And if you remember last year when earlier this year when Pluto was on this place, I said we're in graduation process. This is now the final exam of the final exams. This is the rite of passage final exam. So you've been through a lot of shit, you've been through a lot of hard lessons, and Pluto is now going back for the final 2.5 months and say, okay, so show me how much you have matured, how much you have grown up, how much you have developed, how much you have evolved. And in that process, some things will just not fit anymore. How you used to be you won't fit anymore. Who you used to be won't fit anymore. The role you have in your business might not fit anymore. The role you played in society might not fit anymore. The role you had in relationships might not fit anymore. Your relationship with the patriarchy, grandfather, father, you might have to process and overcome a lot of hard lessons and challenges that you encountered through your relationship with your father, with your grandfather. And now comes the time in life that you're finally going to realize how much you have grown out of it, how much you have matured, how much you have evolved. So it might be that the business that you used to have, you're no longer relating to it, you don't feel it's right for you anymore, and you decided to move on. It might be that, maybe you're a social media influencer and you've developed this branding, and you started that brand when you were in your mid-20s, early 20s, and here you are now, 2008 until now, we're looking at 16 years. So maybe now, you started this when you were in your early 20s, and here you are in your late 30s, and you're no longer that young chick DJ that is doing rave parties and taking drugs. Maybe now you're more into chanting and sacred music and detox retreats. So obviously the old branding is not gonna suit you. So you might decide to wrap up that old branding and just start a new social media brand. For example, it just means maybe you were in the corporate world. Maybe you love the corporate world. You went there when you were in your late 20s. You went into the corporate world, you love that environment of being that powerhouse among businessmen, businesswomen, suits, network meetings, working hard, partying hard, it's like 9 to 5 city, fancy car, fancy clothes, Coke and, Coca-Cola and Coke, and you know, top end kind of like restaurants and stuff, and you know, it's just no longer, it just doesn't fit you anymore. It's just, you don't find, it's not you anymore. So you might find this kind of like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm done with this corporate world. I'm done with this lifestyle. I'm just done. For example, so death of an old character, death of an old profession, death of an old structure, karma. This is the end of karma. So an old karmic cycle that you've been working with, processing with since 2008 until now, hallelujah, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. It's coming to an end, baby, and this is your final exams. This is your maturity graduation ceremony of you realize that karma. It was tough, it was painful. Man, 2008, I've shared with you this a few times. I came to Australia at the end of 2006, got married middle of 2007. 2008, I have started my professional path here in Melbourne, musician and stuff. 2009 started Healing the Light, and here I am now. And many of the things that I've built have kind of grown and thrived, and I've created this amazing empire, right? Family and Healing the Light and Sound Healing Center and all these things and concerts and music. And here I am now looking back and saying like, that was great, that broke apart. All the last few years with Pluto at the end of Capricorn, that broke down, the healing space is gone, the family is gone, this is gone, but I'm still here. I'm still here. So wow, that was a freaking tough karma. That was a freaking tough lesson. That was hardcore. To be thrown from the top of the mountain to the depth of Shambhala overnight? Freaking freak. Not many people will be able to still be here like me. Wow, I've learned a lot. Wow, I've been through a lot. Wow, I've grown up. Wow, I've matured. I'm gonna tell you the astrology on my personal story right now in one moment. Pluto in Capricorn. That is gone. That is dead. But I'm still here. So I'm finishing that karma. That karma is finished. I've realized it. I've processed it. Uranus in Taurus, my home. My first house, my first home. My life has entirely changed since 2018, 17 when Uranus came to Taurus. Everything started. The earthquake of my life, the tower in tarot cards. Boom, Uranus smashed me. And I knew it. I knew it's gonna happen. When I saw Uranus coming there in 2017, that's what I freaked out and did future awareness report to be prepared for it. Prepared for it. Venus now with the South Node and Black Moon. Yeah, I'm done with doing relationships in that way, man. The way I look at love, the way I look at relationships, the way I look at all these things, it's all so different. I'm never gonna do the same shit again. I'm just not seeing it in the same way. I'm just not evaluating it in the same way. It's a whole different setup. It's a whole new setup. Mercury trine Chiron, yeah. I'm seeing it through a healed state now. I'm seeing why it came for me to heal me and to give me that insight. So here I just gave you the astrology in 1 minute about myself, and you take it into yourself and do your own kind of dialogue. So yeah, we're all facing big changes, but the main thing is like, don't face them with fears, because with Pluto we might face like deep fears, deep-seated fears about this death of the old. But it's like, it's evolutionary. It's powers beyond our control, Capricorn and Pluto. So kind of like Neptune, Pisces, saying like, have faith. Have faith. We are taking things away from you. We are dissolving things. We are bringing you to this humble place. Virgo season, humility. Humble yourself. So Pluto goes into Capricorn tomorrow morning, 9:57 a.m. as the moon is at the end of Leo. And then the next thing is Uranus. Uranus is stationed in retrograde already. And Uranus goes retrograde. To be precise, Virgo, on the minute. Paying attention to the details. The moment Uranus goes retrograde is Tuesday, 1:18 a.m. So Monday in late night. So we have now Mercury trine Chiron already from now, and Mercury will be in the exact trine to Chiron when Uranus is stationed in retrograde. Time for a revolution. Go with the flow, be flexible, things gonna happen, get some inspiration, get some enlightenment going, get some epiphanies. Time to rebel against the old way. Venus in the South Node and Black Moon Lilith, enough doing the same shit in the old same way. Mars square Neptune, time to make some decisions here, to cut the bullshit, cut your addictions. Virgo season, maybe you're escaping things through drugs, through alcohol, everything is too much for you, so you're drinking every night some wine, you're smoking some joints. Maybe you're doing some drugs on weekends, microdosing, fooling yourself you're microdosing, but you're microdosing every few days, which becomes a dosing after a week or 2 or 3 or 4. Maybe you're escaping through way too much Netflix. You've watched every movie on Netflix, every show on Netflix. You can't watch anything anymore because you've watched everything. That's a red flag alert. So you're like, wow, man, how much time do you spend in front of Netflix? Maybe too much gaming, you know? So it's kind of like, hey, time to make some actions and stop escaping and kind of face things and make some decisions. Mars square Neptune. While Mercury is trining Chiron, and then Pluto goes into Capricorn tomorrow morning. Yeah, here we are. Hello. I am your father. Pluto in Capricorn, Darth Vader. I am your father. And then Uranus goes retrograde on tomorrow night, 1:18 a.m. before the new moon, on a dark moon, 5 degrees before the new moon, on a dark moon phase. Uranus goes, so put it like that. From now, Monday, Tuesday, crazy things are going to happen. And one of the perfect examples you can see is right now the unfolding in the battle between Brazil and Elon Musk on Twitter. Brazil just announced they are blocking X platform, which is Twitter, in Brazil. And any Brazilian that will dare to use VPN to enter X will be fined up to $8,874 Virgo, $8,874 per a day. So this is Pluto back into Capricorn on a collective level, power grab back to the system, back to government, back to institution, back to regulations, which means that we might feel or experience now the next 2 months, oh my god, the world is going backwards, it becomes really dark, the government restrictions, there's like all these things gonna happen similar to what we've been through since 2020, and it might feel like going backwards, you know, people pushing for communism, for socialism, for Marxism, all kind of weird things happening. But have faith, do not get lost in that. Yeah, don't get lost in that. It's a temporary phase, and think about it like that. The universe is allowing them to do their final tricks because he's tricking them to get fully exposed. Which reminds me that something that I will say, something that I will share with you once I find it. But yeah, watch the dynamic between Brazil and Elon Musk, because now today Elon Musk stated on Twitter that they are going to release from tomorrow all the information they have about how that high judge and the president have broke the law. So this is now Pluto in Capricorn, the suppression of power by the government, by institution, by authority of the old patriarchy, of the old world, on what Pluto was doing in Aquarius. The freedom of speech, the social media, the AI, the internet. So it's kind of like Pluto in Aquarius showed us what's going to happen with the exponential development of AI and social media and free speech and all that thing, right? Internet. And now suddenly Pluto goes back to Capricorn and the government goes like, no, we're gonna put restrictions, we are in control, ban this, ban that, restrict this, restrict that. So you're seeing that in England, you're seeing that in Ireland, you see that now in Brazil with X. You're gonna see more and more of that, especially as we get more closer to the election of America, which is significant to all of us. And the other interesting thing is that what I'm searching for you is the Sabian symbol of this new moon in Virgo. And I remember it, but I want to be precise to the detail with Virgo in mind, so I'm going to open it and I'm gonna go to the 12th degree of Virgo. And the symbiont symbol for the 12th degree of Virgo is, after the wedding, the groom snatches the veil away from his bride. So think, what is happening metaphorically when the groom snatches the veil out of the bride? The bride, which was hidden until now, is suddenly being exposed and revealed. Connect that with the fact that Pluto goes back into Capricorn on this new moon in Virgo, and this is the Sabian symbol of the new moon in Virgo, the exposure and the reveal. And Pluto goes back to Capricorn to give them back the power, so they will expose how corrupted, how lack of integrity, how much abuse of power, of sex, of money exists in the old world, the old system, in order to support and promote the job of Uranus in Taurus, the revolution, the breaking free, the higher way of doing it, the higher way of being, together with Neptune, the end of Pisces, the disillusionment, the dissolving of the old way, of the old perception, of the old dream, together with Venus on the south node and black moon Lilith. Nah, that's not working anymore, that's not justice, that's not fairness. It used to be 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Nah, no. Rebellion, Uranus retrograde, station retrograde, rebellion, a lot of rebellion. Venus on the south node, black moon Lilith, rebellion actions. We're going to see a lot of that. Here's the translation of the Sabian symbol. The keynote is the penetrating and unveiling power of the trained mind. Remember, Pluto back in Capricorn is for the finalization of the mastery, the self-mastery, the graduation, the karma conclusion. And with Mercury trine Chiron, the healing understanding, the healing realization, Virgo, new moon, the penetrating and unveiling power of the trained mind. In contrast to the preceding symbol, we have now seen stressing a physical action with this is Mars square Neptune, stressing a physical action with psychological and spiritual overtone. In ancient cosmologies, the male god often appears in three roles as the son, husband, and father of the woman element of nature, Virgo. Nature is fulfilled by the human mind and will that overcome her. She resists the human mind and the will that overcomes her, only better to be subdued by the power that transcends her. So she resists to that which trying to subdue in her, only in order to be transcended. So this kind of like the fear, the deep fear of Pluto in Capricorn that we must end and let go, and the Uranus shock and trauma and changes in Taurus is there, and the new moon in Virgo and the Venus with the southern being, only for it to transcend us. Uranus stationary in retrograde, Pluto back in Capricorn, Pluto sextile Neptune, sextile Uranus, which is trine Pluto. Amazing. And by transcending her, gives her a spiritual meaning. The element of training in the symbolic scene comes from the fact that there has been a marriage ritual, though the socio-cultural factor is in the background. The teacher guru is here the priest who has performed the ritual. That's Capricorn, the preacher guru, and Pisces, the preacher guru. As this second stage in the rules are reversed, the masculine element assuming the dynamic positive part in the great play of polarity. The masculine act balances the feminine dream visualization. The keyword is unveiling. There can also be unveiling of mysteries long protected by secrecy. And so this Pluto in Capricorn is going to expose lack of integrity that will be revealing and help the transcendence of Uranus in Taurus. This is amazing. So we need to end this love stream. But I hope I managed to give you the idea that yes, challenging times ahead, crazy times ahead. There's gonna be loads of weird, big things happening. If it's in Mother Nature, in finance, in economy, in homeland security, in the war zones, in the health system, Pluto, Neptune, Pisces rules viruses, Pluto is pandemics. There's a lot going on around that. There's a lot of fear and propaganda being implemented. There's a lot of kind of totalitarian control mongering kind of power grab attempts around the world. But ultimately it's a temporary phase which will expose fully the old system, the old world, and how it doesn't suit the future we are heading to, and it will fuel the revolutionary change for the Pluto in Aquarius, the Aquarius age. Decentralization. Decentralize is the future. Evolutionary, revolutionary is the future. A new earth is the future. Everything is going to be awesome and beautiful and much better than you even imagine. But right now you can't see it because you're swimming and playing with the fears of the breakdown of the old world. It's like a boy going from kindergarten to school. Next year my son will go to high school. It's a whole new thing. So for him, Pluto at the end of Capricorn is ending and letting go of the toddler, of the young boy that went to kinder and primary school. And next year, with Pluto in Aquarius, he's going to high school. He's going through, literally his bar mitzvah is in this November. So he's going to go through his rite of passage of growing to be a man than a boy. Another perfect example for that. So for the boy that goes from being in a primary school and kindergarten into this kind of grown-up and a teenager in high school, it's a big change. There's fears involved. When we all went from primary to high school, we all had that kind of like insecurities and fears and doubts, and like, I don't want to let that go, it was such a beautiful time and all my friends and that. But then you go there, it's like, sweet ass bro, sweet ass. You know, it's like I recommend you to look up the dictionary of the young generation. It's hilarious. There's all kind of things. I tease Marley with that all the time. It's funny, you know, very funny things like Riz. You know what Riz is? It's like, oh, he got some good Riz, she got good Riz. What is Riz? What is Riz, Marley? Not gonna tell you. You're not gonna tell me? I'm gonna Google it, no problem. Google what is Riz. Riz is someone that have good charisma. For example, you can say, oh, he's not good looking, but he's got some good Riz on him. Go figure, Riz. She's a bit sus. What is sus? Suspicious. Sus, you know, weird. All kind of things like that. Anyway, I hope I entertain you. There's much more coming down the pipeline. Post this new moon, the next thing that is happening, the square between Mars and Saturn. I'm just gonna finish with that. The exact square of Mars to Saturn is happening on... The exact square of Mars to Saturn is happening on... There we go. On Tuesday, 1:34 p.m. is the exact square of Mars to Neptune, okay? Exactly on the new moon. The new moon is still happening. So it's amazing. It's a new moon with an exact square of Mars to Pluto, to Neptune. Wow, wow. Pluto back to Capricorn, Uranus retrograde, Mars square to Neptune, new moon, Mercury trine. This is a bombastic new moon. And this is the new moon that begins the eclipse season. Next full moon is the full moon eclipse in Pisces, okay? So we are starting the eclipse season from this new moon. So in general, it's gonna be epic, epic, epic. And the final thing I want to send you off with is that after all that, the next thing that is building up is that Mercury is going to do the third final square to Uranus, which is another whammy, because that's the shocking, sudden, unexpected realization, epiphany. But this time it already happened twice, so this is the third time, and on the third time is the epiphany, it's the enlightenment, it's the realization, it's that, aha, that's what it is. Remember, the Sabian symbol of the new moon is the revealing, the exposure. third square of Mars to of Mercury to Uranus is coming up on Saturday, the 7th of September at 2:09 p.m. This coming Saturday, 7th of September, 2:09 p.m. Mercury square Uranus, and here is the shock, the awe, the aha, the epiphany, the wow. And the moon will be in Libra together with all the Libra party by then. The next thing that is happening while Mercury is squaring Uranus is that the Sun is really in the opposition to Saturn, and that's like, whoa, suddenly restriction, holding back, something is happening. Crazy weather outside, crazy winds. The entire room was like so the exact opposition of Sun to Saturn, I will finish with that, is happening on, there we go, Sun opposition to Saturn on next Sunday, the 8th of September at 2:19 p.m. and this is the Sun in Virgo, wanting to detox, wanting to get grounded, wanting to perfect the plan, wanting to kind of make the changes, and suddenly here comes the Saturn in Pisces. There is a sobering up, there is a restriction, there is like something that you want to initiate the plan, you want to get something going on the embodied way, but suddenly there's like, that dream it's same with Mars square Neptune. It's kind of like, that dream, it's a great dream, but it just can't happen right now. So Saturn in Pisces is like, sorry, it's a great idea, it's a great plan, but it just can't happen fully right now. You need to, Saturn in Pisces is saying, for this dream to happen, you need to fill up this form and that form, and oh yeah, you haven't done your tax and you haven't done this, so first do all this and then come to me. It's kind of like a hiccup, a delay, a blockage, a restriction. The moon will be in Scorpio, which is kind of intense emotional processing around it, and we can go on and on. I hope you've been entertained by this love stream. Daniel J, cheer up, the best is yet to come. Exactly. There is a sunshine rising out of these dark clouds, but there are dark clouds coming. But we are capable and we will get through it all. So, back to Sudish, bringing up Sudish to give us a bit of a party vibe. Thank you so much, family. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it gave you a lot. And happy new moon in Virgo. Happy Virgo season. Happy birthday to all the Virgos in the house. And thank you for your love and support to all the Patreon members. If you feel like joining us, supporting me further, please join our patreon.com/healingdelight. Subscribe to our community and come join us and receive the benefits of it. The free offering, as always, please press like on this movie, subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends and family. And if you want to come for sound healing meditation this Wednesday 7 p.m, it's going to be like a day after the new moon, but initiating, and we are still there with it. So if you want to come and get it. And that's pretty much it, family. Healing sessions as well, it's all for 20% discount at the moment, so come enjoy it, have fun. And I want to finish with the same one I started. Where was that? Here we go. That's it. So this is Sudish, harmony from the heart. Love you, family. You be good to yourself, be positive. I will see you again soon, and thank you all for the love and support. Peace, joy, happiness, lots of it. Bye.